Yeah, and that's what I said after watching that movie. I was like, damn, I ought to walk up to Netflix and ask them what kind of crack they were on when they greenlit that movie. Hey peeps, how are you today? Uh, yeah, I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. And yes, I did get a new cup and a new beanie. Beanie. I went to call him a beanie boo, but he's not a beanie boo, is he? And yes, he does have a little gouge in his side. My dear fur baby got to him before I could, unfortunately. And I will patch him up at some point. But until then, why don't we think of a name for him? Because he is going to be sticking around as our little pet, if you will. Um, yeah, I do have white hair. Do you like it? If not, I don't really care. It's not going to be here for long. Yeah, this is just bleached right now to dye my hair a neon green. But it's gonna stay white for a little bit. I don't know if it'll stay white for a couple videos, one video, who knows. But it'll be green soon, so yeah. And for anybody wondering what I'm drinking, I am drinking basically carbonated apple cider. Or apple juice, because I like apple juice. Yeah. Um, but without further ado, let's get into our movie. So, we're here with another movie commentary about an animated movie, obviously. That's like the only thing I talk about. I do actually have plans at some point in time to talk about The Never-Ending Story and The Dark Crystal. But those are going to be some fatty, long videos because those are movies I really, really like. But yeah, this is an animated movie from 2017 and it is a Netflix Productions movie, which means it's only on Netflix. And I honestly don't know what the fuck Netflix was thinking when they greenlit this movie, but they put some good voice actors in it. There's actually some massive talent attached to this movie, surprisingly. And I shall see as I get deeper and deeper into this movie, nobody cared about this movie. The voice actors, the producers, the storyboarders, fuck, I don't think Netflix gave a hoot about this movie. Um, there's also cliche after cliche in this movie. Not an original thought. Hey, so, editing Candy here, and I forgot to say that one of the only things I liked about this movie was the animation, and I know the animation is kind of weird, but I actually like it. So, yeah. Besides, like, two, I think. Yeah, there's, like, two original thoughts in this movie. Um, but that being said, I want you to go down to the comments right now and guess how many cliches you think are in this movie. Because there's a few. And if you guess right, I'll like your comment or I'll pin it. The first person to guess right, I will pin their comment. I think I can do that on YouTube, right? Yeah, I can pin your comment. Don't mind me why I try to remember how YouTube works, right? But yeah, go down there and comment your guess of how many cliches you think are in this movie. And while you're down there commenting your guess, you could also, like and subscribe. Click that notification bell because my videos are awesome. And I put a video out every time. Yeah, every time. Alright, but without further ado, let's get into our movie. As I said, this movie is called Gnome Alone. No, it's not a Home Alone ripoff. This movie is actually about a young girl named Chloe and her estranged mother, Catherine, who moved to this little town called Tenderville. And they move into, this massive house surrounded by, mysterious gnomes. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but they just have, this house just has a bunch of gnomes in it for whatever reason. And one night during dinner, while Chloe's mom is out because she has super busy mom, and, Chloe discovers a secret room that's holding, a mystical, possibly toxic gem, which she takes, and is just like, this is a pretty little necklace that totally doesn't look like it could be radioactive. I'm gonna get a new necklace. And then she starts, wearing it around, And unbeknownst to her, she opens a portal from another realm in her basement by taking that necklace, because I guess it was like a gem thing, I don't know, that kept portals closed. And they unleash that portal that opens in your basement unleashes a pack of rabid and hungry creatures, first original thought in this movie, named Trogs. And they're just running around her house. Yeah, the Trogs and the gnomes are the only okay things in this movie, I guess. At her new school, because she just moved to this place, Chloe befriends a popular girl named Brittany and her friends named Tiffany and Chelsea, collectively known as the BTCs, which I'm just now realizing stands for Brittany, Tiffany, and Chelsea, because throughout the movie I could not figure out why they were called the BTCs. But Chloe, obviously being the new girl in her school, is trying really hard to fit in with these popular girls to, because she just wants to fit in. She just wants to have friends. So she gives the necklace to Brittany, thinking that, this will get me into their group. So the next day, Catherine, Chloe's mom, tells Chloe that she will be taking an extra shift at work because, busy mom. And upon her leaving the house, the gnomes reveal themselves to be alive to Chloe. And they tie her up when they discover she took the keystone, the necklace Chloe ended up giving to Brittany. And the gnomes reveal that the keystone keeps the Trogs from causing havoc within their realm. Quicksilver, voiced by Jeff Dunham, one of the gnomes reveals that the Trogs became their mortal enemies after they devoured the botanical life forms which made up their way of life. Zook, who is voiced by, oh my goodness, it's in my notes somewhere. George Lopez. Yeah, George Lopez. We're not even going to talk about him, but George Lopez is in this movie. Also, Becky G is Chloe, and, Tara Strong is Catherine. I don't know why I'm bringing that up right now, but yeah. Those are some voice actors in this movie. Quicksilver, one of the gnomes, Zook, the gnome's current leader, also explains that Zamfir, their former leader, which is the best fucking character this movie ever had, Zamfir is, by the way, and you don't get to see him till the end of the movie, but he was the only saving grace of this movie, I swear. Zamfir, their former leader, once journeyed into the Trog realm to destroy it, but never returned. Using the keystone, they were able to stop the Trog's portals from opening. So now that the key is gone, they enlist Chloe to fend off the Trogs until she can retrieve the keystone back. Chloe also inducts her awkward neighbor and classmate Liam, who is voiced by Josh Peck, to help her out. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first started writing my script for this video, I put Liam's name as Super Nerdy Boy because I could not remember his actual name. That is how forgettable his character was in this movie. That aside. Chloe, meanwhile, plans to obtain the necklace from Brittany at a school dance, Liam fearing that Chloe's friendship with the BTCs is detrimental to her social status, because it kind of is. She really, really wants to have these friends, so he splits up with her, him staying at the house and her going to the dance. He ends up going to the dance, and just kind of creeping around Chloe. But we see him seeing, and I know that's a weird sentence, but we see him looking at Chloe and the BTCs, and then we switch over to Chloe and the BTC's point of view, and we're like, Chloe finds out Brittany didn't bring the necklace, so she comes up with a plan to swing by her house, swing by Brittany's house, and when Chloe initially makes this plan to swing by Brittany's house to make this necklace. Everything's fine until Liam walks up to them and he starts being like, what are you doing here? And like, the BTCs make fun of Chloe for being friends with him, and then Chloe blows up at everyone. Well, initially she blows up at Liam and tells him to go home, and so he walks home really sad, and then we watch Chloe, go dance with the BTCs for a little bit, and then we're following Liam as he heads home from the dance, and he gets home to the gnomes and is like, I know you wanted me to make sure Chloe got that necklace, but I'm staying here. And he's like crying. He's really upset that Chloe basically called him like a nerd loser and to get out of there so she could be friends with the BTCs. And out of nowhere, a Trog portal opens and swallows Liam. And honestly, I didn't feel bad. I kind of laughed a little bit because Josh Peck, he's a good actor, but the noises he made for Liam are hilarious. I'll try and put a few of them in here. Um, but once Brittany, we're back at the dance now, by the way. Once Brittany and Chloe get to really talking, Brittany kind of starts being rude to Chloe, and Chloe is like, well, fuck, Liam is right. Liam is right. You guys are a bunch of bitches. And she blows up at everybody at the party. Chloe breaks ties with the BTCs and heads home. And after learning that Liam has been sucked into a Trog portal, Chloe is like, well, fuck, I gotta go get this guy because I actually kind of like him. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't say that, but that's obviously where they're going with this. So she goes through a Trog portal in the toilet. Yeah, I don't know how. Don't ask me the physicality of that. I don't care about it. She finds Liam in this giant Trog world, by the way, which is kind of just floating. They're like giant planets of Trogs that just float in this vast empty space, and she finds Liam, and she apologizes, like, she's super sorry, and yeah, even though I wouldn't accept her apology, Liam fucking starts blubbering, saying he obviously accepts, and he just wanted a friend, and blah blah blah, stuff like that. Nice little moment. Anyways, they encounter my favorite character, Zamfir, which is literally the best character in this entire movie. Like, I'll put in a little scene of when you first meet him right here, and it is just the best. But Zamfir, Chloe, and Liam uncover a giant crystal that's just floating in this vast space, like I said, and come up with a plan using Chloe's lithium-ion battery from her phone to blow up the crystal in order to destroy the Trog realm. Which I don't know why this works, but apparently if they put Chloe's battery from her phone close to the crystals, it vibrates and blows up, which is really weird. And Chloe was wearing that around her neck, Jesus Christ, with her phone in her face. Wait a minute, how did that... Plot hole. Alright. So they blow up the crystal and a larger version of the keystone and use the invading Trogs to escape in a portal, sucking all the Trogs back in their realm. And as the gnomes happily, as the gnomes are like reuniting with Zamfir, Brittany shows up to Chloe's fucking house. Like, after being ditched at the middle school dance and being like basically broken up with by Chloe because she didn't want to be a part of their friend group, Brittany shows up recording her with the BTCs and is like just making fun of her, trying to humiliate her. And she also has Chloe's necklace with her, and she tries to destroy that. But Chloe's like, I don't really care, because she thinks the Trog is over. But while Brittany and Chloe are in this kind of fight, it's not really, it's a verbal fight. We see behind Brittany, that there is a giant Megatrog forming, which escapes from the basement. Blocked from escaping, everyone travels to the rooftop, because the Trogs covered the Megatrog covered the whole house, but they're blocked from escaping. So they come up to the roof. Got this like ooze plant. By the way, this ooze plant is like it makes like this serum that the Trogs are scared of, or like it sends them back to their little Trog world. But Zoe grabs that and the necklace from Brittany and Brittany's phone, and she like puts it all together to make a little makeshift bomb and throws it into the Megatrog. And the Megatrog blows up, causes a big mess, and then everything is fine. She wakes up in her bed the next morning, alongside her mom, and she's like, Mom, I want to stay here, and we're not really sure if any of that was a dream at first, and then she gets a text from Brittany saying she had the weirdest dream last night, and then, Chloe heads up to the attic to see if the gnomes were real, so she heads up there and discovers the gnomes are real, and they survived, and she makes the weirdest ending comment any movie's ever made. Her and Liam, after finding out that the gnomes are still alive, are walking towards school, and we get this closing. Why does pink hair not her? Brown? Okay, I don't know if this was made by some old ass people. I don't know, but that comment about the hair made me just go kind of, what? That's a weird way to end the movie, but yeah, that was the ending of the movie. Yeah, that movie sucked. The plot was very convoluted, but before I get into my opinion of the movie, do you remember what your guesses were for the amount of cliches there were in the movie? If you didn't guess already, I'll give you 5 more seconds to guess, and then I'm going to tell you the answer. Okay, the answer is 5. To me, at least. There were 5 cliches in this movie. We have the busy mom, the teen obsessed with her phone, which I didn't really mention that much, but the entire time on that movie, Chloe is basically on her phone. We have, she wants to be popular, obviously, be a part of the BTCs. Brittany is the popular girl. The nerdy love interest, who is also the boy next door. Yeah. Well, there's 5. Oh, 6, I guess, now that I'm thinking about it. Brittany and the BTCs, immediately, like, leaving each other when the Trogs come out. So, fake friend group. Yep, there's like 6 cliches in this movie. The only original thoughts were come from the gnomes and the Trogs, in my opinion. But yeah. The biggest surprise about this movie was the talent that was in it. As I stated earlier, Becky G was Chloe, Josh Peck was Liam, Tara Strong was Chloe's mother, and fucking George Lopez and Jeff Dunham played 2 of the gnomes. As I stated, I'm not going to talk about George Lopez, and I'm not going to talk about Jeff Dunham. But Becky G, Josh, you could have done better. The delivery for all of this was super subpar. I don't know if this was Becky G's first voice acting thing, so I guess I can give her a little slip on that, but either which way, this was absolutely shitty. Nobody gave a fuck about this movie. And I'm also convinced that everybody in this movie, whoever wrote the voice lines for this movie, has never interacted with a single person before. And initially I did make a note that Chloe randomly screams a lot, but thinking back on that, she could just have, like, overstimulation problems, so I'm not gonna comment on that. But I don't recommend watching this movie. It's on Netflix. You can watch it if you want to. As I said, it's called Gnome Alone. I don't recommend watching it. The sound mixing was awful, too. Whenever there was a group of people talking, you could only hear the background person talking more than you could hear the two people you were supposed to be paying attention to talking, which was really weird. I'm not gonna lie, the idea for this movie was a good idea. It just sucks that it was executed so awfully. You know? I wouldn't mind seeing a movie about a girl helping some gnomes to defend a garden from some freaky aliens. You know, that would be cool, but they just didn't do it the right way. I don't know if Netflix was on crack when they greenlit this movie, but that's pretty much it's pretty much what I assume. Yeah, you had to be. But I'll go ahead and end this movie now. This is running a little long. But that was Gnome Alone. What do you think about it? Because obviously, I think it sucked. But I'd love to hear your opinion. And, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow along. Because, I upload a video every time. Yeah, every time. Alright, you're probably not even watching this anymore. Peace.